All right, fellas, moving the camera a little bit closer for this one. This is a closer's CRM management. This is the way a closer is going to work. With a setter, without a setter, doesn't really matter. This is kind of the lifeblood of the business. This is how you build your pipeline. This is how you don't go stale because you follow these simple rules. You keep your shit organized, and then you're going to be able to close more deals because you know where everything is, you know who's where, you know what's where. So let's get into it. First and foremost, you want to have around 30 to 40 active leads in the pipeline. You should have a couple closed contracts. Those should be about 3 or 4. That's just kind of sitting at the end there. But nothing's a closed contract also. Like, it's not under contract until doc signed. If you told me you have an offer out and accepted and they don't have doc signed, I don't care. It's not a contract. It's only a contract when you have signatures on paper. Regressing. 30 to 40 active leads. You want to have around 30 to 40 between these, 7 sections, because you want to always have people that you can reach out to see if they're interested. You're always moving. People are always just moving in between this. So we're going to go through this in a second. People should always be moving from offers made. Okay, they didn't take the offer, they're back to constant contact. People should move from constant contact to appointment set. Appointment set's ready for offer. It should always be moving. If somebody's stuck in here for more than 2 weeks, you kind of know that, like, hey, like, you've called them a ton. You just kind of you get the feel of it pretty quickly. But they should always be moving around. And if they're not moving, that means they aren't ready for a decision, but they're going to be ready for a decision soon. All right, so you don't want just dead leads chilling in your active pipeline. It makes you feel bigger than you are. All right, 2 months or less, you keep it in the CRM. This I'll get to here, I'll regress, but 2 months or less, essentially, if they're saying, like, yeah, I'm going to make a decision to sell here, like you took them to the inbound, you had a simple process with them, you kind of figured out a little bit what's going on, and they're like, yeah, like, I'm not really looking to sell right now. And you ask them why, and they say an actual circumstance that applies. You go, okay, that's completely fine. Like, when are you thinking you can get that cleared up? Probably within the month. Okay, you're going to keep them in constant contact because now you know that they're not ready, but they're also not ready to go back to warm. So you keep them in constant contact, keep them going. So next, last one, you must audit your CRM weekly, like either every Friday before you leave the office or every Monday right when you get there. You want to send like one final, just like, hey, just want to let you know, like, we're going to be moving on, to whoever it is. You do that pullback of a text and you go, hey, just want to let you know, like, we're going to be moving on. All good though. Just wanted to kind of see if you were still interested at all. Bang. From that text, you'll probably get a ton of responses, but that's in the drip. You'll learn that later. 2 months, keep CRM, must audit it weekly. You'll see that your CRM will back up sometimes. Like, you'll have a ton of leads and you're thinking you're working hard and you're thinking you're making calls, but in reality, it's just dead, stale leads when you could go fish in warm and probably pull some out from there. But instead, your CRM is full of 40 deads and you're like, man, my CRM is packed. You've got to audit weekly. All right, let's go to CRM management. Let's go through the steps here. So obviously, new lead, max they should be in there is 1 day. Not even. They should be in there. You should be getting blown up on day one. But at the end of every day, it should be clear. Next, and it must be called, a hot lead must be called within 2 minutes. Like, if a hot lead's not called within 2 minutes, I'm throwing a fit. If a cold lead must be called, honestly, ASAP, but within the hour is just fine. You just got to reach out to them and let them know you're calling. Must be called within soon. Daily. Dailies for when people don't pick up the phone. People that haven't answered. People that didn't answer your phone call. People that didn't answer your text. These are people you're blowing up 2 times a day, potentially 3. You're doing double dials. You're texting them every time. We are blowing these people up because we paid good money to talk to them. They said they had interest, and now we need to be the ones talking to them. So, double dials. Have to be double dialing. Maybe even triple dialing if you want to be aggressive. So perfect. That's daily. Now, constant contact. These are people that aren't really ready to make a decision yet. Like the people I was talking about earlier that are like, okay, like, once I get this clear of my cousin, once my wife gets back into town, okay, like, yeah, I really can't make a decision without her. When they give you a real reason, like a real reason, not no BS reason. They give you BS reason, keep them going. But if they give you a real reason, or like they're just like, oh yeah, like I really don't have time right now, like I'm busy all week, and then you're like, okay, like you really don't have time. They're like, yeah, I'm leaving the country tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. Constant contact, people that aren't ready to make a decision, but they are going to make a decision within 2 months. That's constant contact. Just people that you talk to. Hey, you ready yet? Hey, you text them every day, text them every other day. You're just talking on a communicative schedule. Next, appointment set. So to be an appointment set, you must have like an active appointment set with them. Not like, oh, I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. That's constant contact. If it's, hey, I'll give you a ring Friday at 9:30 and we'll take you through the process, that's appointment set. Appointment set is probably where most people are going to chill. You always want to have most used because you always want to have people like, you always want to have appointments. You always want to have appointments because appointments leads to offers, offers leads to contracts. So it kind of starts here. This is where the sales really starts. This is like the follow-up of it. The sales starts at appointment set because you want to make sure, hey, set a proper expectation for an appointment. They know they're going to get an offer on that call. You know they have time. You know they're qualified because that's what you did in the first call. So you set the appointment, and then you go from there. Most used one should be your bread and butter. Everybody should be moving on from appointment set pretty quickly, though. No one should be chilling at appointment set for a while. Constant contact is going to be a place for people to chill for a while, but that's really it. Daily follow-up fills up just because some people won't pick up the phone, but you got to make sure you're always auditing those. Next, ready for offer. Max they can stay in here is like 24 hours, to be honest with you. This is like if you got halfway in the appointment and they're like saying like, oh yeah, my husband's like got to be here. And then you kept going through everything and like then you really realize like they can't make a decision without their husband. Like, okay, that's fine. And then you just like let's say they're rushing you off the phone. You didn't set expectations properly. They're rushing you off the phone. Now here you are. You're sitting down. They're chilling, ready for offer. Should not be used often. They should be max 24 hours there because you should be rescheduling and then pitching. Must make offer or go back somewhere else. They should not chill and ready for offer a long time at all. Perfect. Offers made. Perfect. Bang, we got to the offer. Great. They didn't accept. Dang it. All good. Happens. A lot of the time, it really does happen like pretty often where you want to close them, but sometimes they need a little bit of time. Sometimes they need like a couple hours. Put them here. Follow up. If you make an offer to somebody, you are now following up with them every other day. So you're going to follow up with them, follow up with them, follow up with them, follow up with them. You're going to keep reaching out to them. Sometimes if they don't accept it, you're going to move them back to constant contact. Because if they're like close, but they're not really like the most responsive, they got to figure some stuff out, they're going to make a decision in a while, you should move them back to constant contact because you know they're going to make a decision soon. Now, if they say they're going to go with a realtor, they tell you to piss off, they tell you to go something else, like they just are completely done, you move them to warm. Warm, you must put a drip. So you must put a drip campaign. If you're going to put somebody to warm, depending on how warm they are, you're going to either do the 13-week, or if they're really not that warm and like they just want to go with a realtor or whatever, you put them on long term. Really the only reason you should be putting somebody in warm is if they're not ready, like, and they're like 2 or more months out, or they're just going a different route and you know they're going a different route. So you put them on a drip, you let the drip campaign call them. We'll call them eventually because we call our warms. Now, let's go to dead leads. Dead leads are literally only sold. Only if the property is sold. They could say, yeah, we're under contract to sell, not sold. So, like, if you call a warm lead, yeah, we're actually under contract to sell the property. Okay, great. Like, when's your closing? Oh, in 2 weeks. Okay, beautiful. You're going to call back in 2 weeks and see if they're actually sold. Make a note for yourself. Make an appointment for yourself. Call back in 2 weeks, see if it's sold. And if it did sell, move it to dead, whatever. But if it didn't sell, which hopefully it didn't, we're in there. So only if it's sold, like you have to check Zillow and see that it's sold in the time span from when we got the lead to that current day. It had to have sold then. It can't have sold. Like sometimes people buy their property and then want to sell, and then you pull up Zillow and it says sold. Just a tip of advice. Only if it's literally been sold since from when you got the lead to when it's sold, to when you're talking to them. Perfect. CRM management. Super simple, but super important because you always have to keep it moving. It's always you always want to have fresh leads. Even if you're pulling warms, if you see you're at 20 active leads, you got to pull some warms. You got to go fishing. If you see that you're at 50 leads, 60 leads, you've got too many things to worry about. So you always want to make sure if they want to sell within 2 months, you keep them in there. Must audit it weekly. Weekly. Every Monday, every Friday, every Wednesday, whatever you want, you pick. You must audit, send that goodbye text to the people that aren't moving the needle, and go from there. Beautiful.